One of the fashion icons of the 21st century in the making, and that is not an overstatement. And in addition to that, unlike many of the fashion leaders in the past of fashion, she actually has a sense of social mission and purpose from the beginning. To share that, Carrie Hammer.
Thank you. All right. Thank you guys so much for having me. I'm really honored to be here. So I used to work in advertising. Let's see. Next. I used to work in advertising, and all my clients would come to me and say, we want to do a viral video. All the cool brands are doing viral things. How do we go viral? And I started my clothing line, Carrie Hammer, in 2012 because I was really frustrated by the options available to me as a professional woman. I couldn't find anything beautiful or feminine or that fit. And ladies, I think you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, you know. So since then, my clothing line and my company has had 3 viral fashion shows at New York Fashion Week with a bootstrap budget and no PR agency. So you may be asking yourself, how did you do that? What's the secret? So I'll let you in on it. To go viral, you have to have a virus. You have to be a carrier cell for something bigger, for something greater, for something positive. And for me, my carrier cell is my fashion line, and it's my fashion shows at New York Fashion Week. And my virus is empowering women through positivity and kindness and changing the global definition of beauty. So let me start from the beginning. So I was asked to show at New York Fashion Week last February. And I was going through the checklist with my stylist, you know, DJ, venue, all the details. And we got down to models. And she said, okay, are we holding a model casting? What's the deal? I said, nothing sounds worse than holding a model casting with underage models. See, how I met my stylist is we were styling a hair show in New Jersey. No judgment, we all have to start somewhere. And guess how old the youngest model was? Literally guess. Wow, that's impressive. 12. She was 12. She showed up with her algebra homework. And after her hair and her makeup was done, and I begrudgingly styled her and dressed her, she looked like she was literally 30. So we kind of recounted that story, and I was like, Angie, I just don't feel comfortable putting underage models on the runway when all of my clients are such role models. And that was a lightning bolt moment for me. The sky kind of opened up and I said, you know what? We're gonna do role models, not runway models. So that's what we did. I called up all my clients and I said, hey, do you wanna walk on the runway during New York Fashion Week? And I found the answer to that question is a really quick, yeah, let's do it. So that first show was incredible. You can see it here. We had CEOs, executives, really high-level women, philanthropists, the likes of the founder of The Daily Show, the head of the Google Fiber project, the head of new products at ABC World News. One of the models we cast was super sexy, a leggy blonde. She's a doctor, a sex therapist at that. She just happened to be in a wheelchair. Dr. Danielle Shapak is one of my really good friends and clients, and she's a very successful doctor. She just happens to have a disability, but she's never been defined by that. In fact, she and I never even really thought of it when we cast her in the show. So anyway, the show went on, and it was incredible. The energy in the room was fantastic. The role models all said it was one of the most fun things they've ever done, and then the attendees said it was the most fun show they'd ever been to. See, the beauty in the role models all extend way past skin deep. Their beauty extends because it's from their passion, their purpose. It really exudes from the inside. They don't have to fake it. They're the real deal. So I was so excited because I was like, oh my gosh, we're gonna, really make a splash, and we're gonna redefine beauty. They're gonna see that beauty really is role models. We got no press, nothing. I was devastated. And then 2 weeks later, I get a call from a friend. She's like, rush to your Facebook, open your Facebook. I opened my Facebook, there was an article posted. It was liked 10,000 times, shared 3,000 times in 21 minutes. One reporter who had come had done her homework. I guess it took her a while. and found out that Danielle was the first ever model on the runway who happened to be in a wheelchair during New York Fashion Week. We didn't even realize it. We had never intended or set out to make that kind of statement. But it ended out to be incredible because she and I got 300 emails from girls and mothers from girls who happen to have disabilities saying, thank you. We've never felt included. We've never seen ourselves reflected in fashion. I want to model now. That was awesome. But there was one email that stood up far above the rest. It was from a beautiful woman named Cristo, who saw us on the cover of Yahoo, and I'll let you see what she wrote for yourselves.
I wish I was an amputee. I wish it didn't, define me, but I can't help but feel that way.
How would you like them to define you?
I guess in a perfect world, I would love to be defined as just me. I was in a coma for 15 days, and for 5 months, I was in the ICU. New Year's Day is when they amputated all 4 of my limbs.
Hi, Carrie. I hope this reaches you. We have never met, but I just had to write you. My name is Karen, and I am 30 years old, living in Los Angeles. I was so thrilled and moved that a designer welcomed someone with a disability on the runway. Beauty comes in all shapes and sizes, and there's absolutely no right or wrong. I still have a hard time dealing with my appearance. I used to have so much self-confidence, but lately I've been afraid to accept myself. I have a passion for fashion, so I hope one day I'll get to show the world why can't people with disabilities, people like me, be beautiful and model. Maybe one day, if I ever get to New York, I'll be able to come meet you. Take care and God bless. Best wishes, Karen Cristo.
So that was Karen. She's incredible. When Karen emailed me and told me about how she lost all of her limbs to bacterial meningitis at the age of 28, and she realized that her life purpose was to show other people that they could be beautiful, and she felt beautiful for the very first time after seeing our show. Oh my God, every time. Really shook me to the core. So of course, we asked her to walk on our show. And she was amazing. She was beautiful, she did a great job, and she was sassy. She did a little wink at the end of the runway. She was great. And she joined 26 other fantastic role models, the head of philanthropy at BlackRock, the #1 transgender activist in the country right now, and the woman who designed and built the Barclays Center. And it was at that show I realized that we weren't just doing another clothing line or another show at New York Fashion Week. We had started a movement, and I call it the Runway Revolution. The Runway Revolution is showing women that you don't have to be one size, one shape, one color, one ability to be beautiful. Beauty is in everything, is in every single woman. And I guess everyone agreed, because at that time, we were in every news publication: Yahoo, Good Morning America, Today, Jezebel, Huffington Post, and this time even global. It was in Le Monde, it was the Daily Mail, in newspapers and properties. I didn't even recognize the languages. So I got hundreds of thousands of emails, comments, likes, and shares, and one was from a mother who asked me if I would provide a role model for her daughter, Grace, who was born with 1 extra chromosome, which makes her a beautiful girl who just happens to have Down syndrome. We said, of course, and Katie introduced us to one of the most famous actresses on television right now. Jamie Brewer is an actress on The American Horror Story, and I'll let you see her participation in our show.
Well, New York Fashion Week is underway here in New York. The annual event is known for its cutting-edge styles and headline-grabbing events.
And this year, all eyes are on one extraordinary model who is turning heads and lifting hearts. ABC's Lana Zach has the story.
Amid pumping beats and flashing lights, history is being made with these first confident steps. Jamie Brewer is the very first model with Down syndrome to ever take on the catwalk at a New York Fashion Week show.
It changes. It changes yourself, and it also changes the world.
Yeah, that's me. So this is Jamie on the runway. And that wasn't even an understatement. It was trending, the show and Jamie on Facebook for 72 hours, 12 of which were in the #1 position. And what I realized from this and all of these, that it was exciting, but it actually started making a dent in the traditional fashion industry, which is actually the most important thing. Because I can only do so much as one small brand, but it's a $1.5 trillion industry that can actually shift the definition of beauty. Victoria Beckham, one of the most famous fashion designers right now, you might know her as Posh Spice, tweeted an article with her only comment being inspiring to her 8.5 million followers. Gap Inc., who has a $1 billion media spend owning Athleta, Banana Republic, and Taylor, tweeted at us and wrote a blog post, and they have never advertised with a model who happened to have a disability. I think their director of communications is on it now. Nightline even did a segment about how diversity was a 2015 Fashion Week trend. And then, just 1 year after our very first fashion show, this happened. There were 2 shows, one in New York and one in Tokyo, with models who just happened to be in wheelchairs. It was real change, real fast. So I will continue to provide positive role models for women everywhere, and I encourage other fashion brands and companies to do the same. And if you'd like to help me amplify my message beyond my bootstrap budget, grab me aside afterwards. But one thing I want to leave you here with today is that we're all carrier cells, as businesses, large or small, as individuals. So choose your virus wisely, and you too can go viral. So what's your virus? Thank you so much.
That was beautiful.